Well, hey there YouTube, N7TFP here with a review of the Arrow 2-meter 440 J-pole. Now, a few months ago I bought this J-pole and did an unboxing video, and in that video I promised you I'd give you a review of the antenna after using it for a few weeks at least. So here I'm here today to deliver on that promise with a detailed review and some performance kind of reports on this antenna. Now, the first thing I'd like to tell you about this antenna, in case you haven't looked up at the specifications for it and what it does, it's a 2-meter, 440 megahertz dual band antenna with one coax. So what that means is it can transmit with a low SWR on those two bands through the same coax, and that worked out really conveniently for me because I have a FT8800 and that radio only has one coax output, and it does both 2 meters and 440 megahertz. So this antenna was a perfect match for that radio. There are other antennas that will do the same thing this one does, but this one was relatively inexpensive, very rugged construction. There are not a whole lot of fragile parts on this antenna, and it got good reports. So I figured, well, it's a cost-effective, pretty good performing antenna, so it probably would meet my needs just fine. And so far it's done a great job. Now, the antenna that used to be up here was a 2-meter J-pole that I built myself out of copper pipe. It's half-inch copper pipe, and it did only 2 meters. It didn't do 440 megahertz, at least not with a good SWR. And so, comparing this antenna to the antenna that was up here before, the 2-meter only antenna, this antenna is about the same performance as that antenna was. Not any noticeable gain or decrease in performance on 2 meters. Of course, the added benefit of having the 440 megahertz is really handy, and that is very nice because there's a lot of 440 repeaters in the Puget Sound area that I can hit from my house here. I think I probably got at least over a dozen 2-meter repeaters and 5 or 6 440 repeaters. And when I say I have them, I mean I have a very good full quieting signal in and out of that repeater. I could probably hit at least a dozen 440 repeaters, at least key them up, and I could probably get into 20 or 30 2-meter repeaters, but not with a reliable signal. So the reports that say this antenna is built like a tank, are they true? For the most part, yes, the antenna is built very well. It's simple construction, and through its simplicity there is durability because it doesn't have a whole lot of parts. It's made out of aluminum, so it's not going to rust. It's lightweight but strong at the same time. It's been up here in the weather, in the rain, in the Pacific Northwest for approximately 2 months. There's no sign of decay much at all, just a little spotting on the aluminum, probably just from debris out of the air, or there's a couple of trees around here, the stuff probably is falling on them. But other than that, it looks pretty much like the day I pulled it out of the box, so it's holding up pretty well. Well, here's a close-up view, so you can see what the antenna looks like after being out in the weather for some time. Let me pardon my focusing here. You can see a little bit of spotting on the top. I think that might be a little bit of seagull scat from the birds around here. But other than that, you don't see any rust, anything like that from being out in the rain. Well, this is kind of the bottom of the antenna here, where most of the exposed parts are. The rest is just these rods that go up. And not seeing any signs of wear and tear so far. So after a few months out here in the weather, it's holding up quite well. Perhaps in a year or two, if we're still around with this antenna, we'll do another review and you can see what it looks like after a year. But other than that, so far so good on this antenna. I give it a thumbs up and highly recommended by N7TFP. Thanks for watching.